Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. A big thank you to everyone that has been liking, viewing and subscribing. We're getting closer to the 300 subscriber mark, and let's push that. Let's make sure we're able to reach our target for this week. As I had mentioned earlier on in the week, in my first video of the week, I mentioned that I'll be coming back for us to go through and review the different wildcard drafts, because I know very many of us are wildcarding in game week 6. Personally, as you're aware, I already did my wildcard, but that doesn't stop me from taking you through a different number of drafts that we can review together, and maybe it can be able to guide you and help you in your drafting as well. So first and foremost, we shall go through my draft that I've decided to come up with, and then after that we shall be able to review a few of the others that are available that you could really compare with. Now this is mine that I did come up with, and I tried to get in as many good assets as possible. We have in goal obviously Raya and Fabianski. Then obviously we have a back defense of two Arsenal players. That's Raya and Gabriel, who's really performing very well, both on set pieces and also with the clean sheets. We do have Dunk Collins of Brentford. As you will notice later on, Collins is supposed to try to cover a bit of the Brentford clean sheets, because very many people are actually going for Flecken and Valdemarsson in goal, which means the fixtures for Brentford are also looking good. Because, like I mentioned earlier in my earlier videos, Game Week 6 is mainly to target the good fixtures of Arsenal, Brentford, and a few other teams there as well. So you will notice that there's really high presence of Arsenal and Brentford players. The other will be Trent Alexander. Obviously, his creativity, at least he started to be assisted in the previous game, and we can see the chances being created higher than any other defender and even some midfielders as well. Then Pedro Porro as well. And then in my midfield, I have Rogers, who has started returning. We hope he can maintain, and he has some very good fixtures. He has Ipswich coming on next. Mbuemo, as we mentioned, Brentford. McNeil comes in here because Everton has two good fixtures as well that we hope to, that has drafting this entire template, hoping to maximize on. So you'll notice it has two Everton presences as well. Saka, obviously, then Eze, who has also some two good fixtures coming up. Then in the front, we have obviously Haaland and Solanke, and then lastly, Calvert-Lewin. So that is how mine is currently looking. But like I've mentioned, we're going to go through a few others. So I think key to note for you is really to look out for the unique people that are appearing in most of these. So that you try to make sure at least you look at their fixtures, you look at their data, and you try to make sure if you can at least have a few of them or most of them in your team. Then also important to notice, look out for those differentials. There are those people that are not very many in all the teams, but they could help you really get that extra notch up and then make your way up the rankings. So the next one we're going to look at is the AI team. This is from Fantasy Football Hub. The AI team the AI was used to generate what it feels would be its best wildcard team going forward. And as you can see, it has a team rating of 96% with a predicted points of 71.4%. That is for this specific game week we're going in, but it still spans for at least 3 to 4 game weeks. So you do notice in goal it has Flecken, who I mentioned earlier, together with Valdemarsson on the bench. These two can easily switch up for each other because one is a backup of the other. Then in defense, we do have Gabriel, Robertson, and Saliba. Now you do notice they still double Arsenal defense, but of actual defenders without the use of Raya like in my previous one. Then in the midfield, they would have Saka, Palmer, Eze, Semenyo, and then Rogers, who will make the bench for this game week specifically. So you do notice now with this one, the AI gets to include Palmer as well, and you can notice he has Brighton, Nottingham Forest, and Liverpool in his next fixtures, and the estimated points that they believe he can get in each of those, that the AI estimates for each of those 3 game weeks. The other inclusion who I actually do like very much is Semenyo, who's also appearing. He has some very good fixtures. He has Southampton, Leicester, and Arsenal next. So at least for those first 2 games, you believe and hope that he can be able to return for you before he gets to meet the Arsenal defense. Then in the front would be Haaland, Wood, who also appears, he wasn't in the previous one, and then Joao Pedro, who most of us brought in and I think still have, but are probably debating on whether to keep him. So you can get to see also his expected points of around 4.9 against Chelsea, 5.3 against Tottenham, and 4.9 against Newcastle. The fixtures for Brighton are not the easiest, really, but you can hope with the Chelsea defense, with the Tottenham defense, and even how Newcastle is performing, they could get something. So you never know. So this is the team that the AI has projected, at least for the next 3 game weeks, that it believes would be the best fit. The bench has Faz and Greaves as well from Ipswich. So this is another option for you to look at and really try to consider. See what would be best for you. Thirdly, we shall also have a look at the Fantasy Football Hub Draft. As you can see, still almost the same people, Flecken and Valdimason, Trent, Gabriel, and Gvardiol. Now Gvardiol is new from the previous drafts that we had. The midfield Smith Rowe is the key person to know to pick out who has not been existing in the previous drafts we've gone through, and also Havertz in striking. It's a mind-boggling bit a bit because Arsenal going forward, most of us are really likening Saka to anyone else because with their captain out, their post going forward wasn't looking good. But really against Leicester and Southampton, you expect them to turn it on, and hopefully Havertz can begin to return again because he had not been returning in the previous games. But you can understand because of the red cards and all the different setbacks they've been having. So then lastly, we're going to look at the last year's FPL champion. That's FPL champion Jonas. Did have a meeting with FPL Fran, I think on one of his channels. Shout out to FPL Fran. And he did come up because he's also going to be wildcarding this week. So he did come up with his draft or how it is shaping up. It's not the final one, but at least this is what he had come up with by the time of recording. You do notice he also still has Flecken and Valdimason in goal. He has a double Arsenal defense of Gabriel and Saliba, Porro, Greaves and Lewis, and the midfield of Palmer, Saka and Buemo, then Rogers and Semenyo, and then lastly in the front he has Haaland, Calvert-Lewin and Pedro. So that is it really from the different reviews. I managed to pick for you like 2 or 3 of what I believe are the good drafts that at least I've seen available. Hope you can be able to use this information, use the data as well as I keep on recommending, and try to get or pick out the team that is best fits that is the best fit for your wildcard 16 for our game week 6. All the best, FPL responsibly, and I'll be hearing from you soon.